All right, welcome to your very own deep dive. Today we're going to be taking a look at Persistent Systems. Persistent Systems is, well, they're kind of a global player in digital engineering and enterprise modernization. You've sent over their Q3 FY25 reports and press releases, and there's a lot to go over. But first off, let me just say, Persistent's bringing in over $100 million every single quarter. And get this, in each of their core industries: healthcare, financial services, and software tech. That's pretty impressive to have that kind of consistent success across different industries like that.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting, especially because, with the economy being the way it is and everything.
Yeah. So let's just jump right into the numbers then. Persistent had $360.2 million in revenue. That's almost 20% higher than the same time last year. Oh, and this is actually their 19th consecutive quarter of revenue growth. It's kind of crazy.
Wow, 19. And they're not just growing, their profit after tax has gone up like 30% to 3,729.9 million. It's a pretty big jump.
Yeah. I mean, especially with like the whole furlough thing. They said that actually cost them about 1% of their revenue. And it hurt their EBIT margin by about 0.6%.
Right. So for those who don't know what EBIT margin is, basically it's how much profit they're making from their operations. And for them to exceed their projections, even with the furloughs, it shows that they are running things well.
Yeah, that is good. It's nice that they're so transparent about it too.
Mhm.
So Persistent also said they're doing an interim dividend of €20 per share, which, I mean, investors usually love that. What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, usually when a company does that, it means that they think they are going to keep doing well and that they want to reward their shareholders, which, I mean, it could mean that they're in a really good spot financially.
So what do you think is leading to their success? They keep talking about this AI-led, platform-driven services approach. Is that actually doing anything for them? Or is it
Yeah.
just a bunch of corporate jargon?
No, I think it's more than just talk. I mean, they have this AI-powered digital engineering platform called SaaSVAT-TM, and it seems like that's a pretty big part of their plan. Basically, by using AI, they can be more productive and get software out faster. That's something that a lot of companies want, so I think it makes them stand out.
And it sounds like they're even using autonomous AI agents with SaaSVAT-TM. So like little AI helpers that can just take care of those repetitive tasks. And then on top of that, they've been improving their quality engineering stuff. It seems like they're going all in on AI, like really trying to change things up.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. And all that seems to be leading to some pretty big clients. Like they got that huge deal with the American Financial Services Company for over $150 million. It's their biggest transformation deal yet. What do you think that means for them going forward?
Getting a deal that big, especially in financial services, that really shows that they can handle big clients and complex solutions. It's a good sign.
Definitely. Especially because with this deal, they're using their AI platform to modernize old systems, which I mean, a lot of companies in that industry need. So it seems like they're in a good position.
And it's not just that one big deal, right? They're doing well in all three of their main industries, and their deals are getting bigger, especially in that $10 million to $20 million range and the $50 million to $70 million range. What does that tell you?
It seems like they're becoming a bigger partner for these companies, not just working on small projects, which I think is a sign of growth and shows that they can handle those larger projects, which usually means more profit too.
Yeah, like they're moving up to the big leagues,
Right.
taking on those bigger projects that are really important to the client. So, they've also gotten some awards, like the 2024 ISG Star of Excellence Overall Award for customer service, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, and that's based on feedback from customers. So it shows that they really care about their clients and want to do a good job for them.
Definitely. They've also gotten recognized for their AI expertise in the 2024 ISG Provider Lens Generative AI Services Report. And they've got that AA plus credit rating from ICRA, which shows that they're financially sound. And I mean, they even made it into the Dow Jones Sustainability World Index. So they're doing good on a lot of fronts.
Yeah, it's not just one thing. They're showing that they're doing well in a lot of different areas.
Now, they've set a pretty big goal for themselves to get to $5 billion in revenue by FY31. What do you think it will take for them to reach that goal?
Well, it's a big goal. They've got a plan to get there, though. They want to really focus on specific areas within their industries, and they want to focus on their top 100 clients and work on getting new clients in areas like private equity.
And they're setting up more global capability centers to find talented people around the world. And it sounds like they're really building something big.
Yeah, it's a long-term plan that needs both growth from within and smart acquisitions. They need to keep innovating, keep getting good people, and be ready for all the changes in tech.
And speaking of the changes in tech, Persistent CEO Sandeep Kalra has some interesting things to say about it. He's really emphasizing that things need to change, especially with AI becoming more and more important.
Right. He said something like, doing more of the same won't get us different results.
Mm.
Which is true. If they want to hit their goals, they have to change how they do things. He seems to get that AI isn't just a tool, it's changing the whole game, and they need to adapt.
He also talked about how persistent size and how they're different from the big players in AI. He said, we don't have the innovator's dilemma. We don't have to worry about a legacy. We don't have, hundreds of thousands of people. We can happily nibble at other people's, market share by going and disrupting what they do by 100 people over a period of time. Maybe we can do it by 50 or less.
Hmm.
What do you think about that perspective?
Well, I think he's saying that they're more agile than the big companies. They can move faster and take risks without all the baggage. He's basically saying they can target those niche areas and slowly take away market share from the bigger guys.
So they're like the underdog, using their size and speed to their advantage.
Exactly. And by doing that, they're not just growing their own business, they're pushing the whole industry forward.
So persistent systems is definitely on the move. But the question is, can they really change the IT services landscape? Can they actually reach that $5 billion goal by FY31?
That's the big question, isn't it? I mean, they have a lot going for them. They're financially stable. They have a good plan for AI. They're getting big clients. And their leadership seems to really understand the need for change.
Yeah, but they also face a lot of competition. The tech world is changing so fast, and you never know what's going to happen with the global economy.
That's true. It all comes down to whether they can adapt, carry out their plans, and keep focusing on doing a great job for their clients. Yeah, that's a lot to think about. And, we haven't even talked about their employees yet and how they're going to deal with all this AI stuff.
Yeah, you're right. Their CEOs talking about moving away from that traditional headcount thing. What do you think that means for their employees
Yeah.
and for the whole IT services industry?
Well, with AI and automation taking over those boring jobs, the whole industry is going to have to change how they think about talent. It's not about getting rid of people and replacing them with robots. It's more about finding the right mix of people and AI and teaching people new skills.
So instead of just writing code all day, engineers might have to become like AI managers, guiding those intelligent agents and making sure they're doing their job right. That's a pretty big change, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And Persistent needs to be leading the way. They need to train their employees and create career paths that make sense in this new world of AI. And it looks like they're already doing that. I mean, they won the gold for Best Corporate University at the TISS LeapVault CLO Awards. So it seems like they're taking this seriously.
And they're not just focused on tech skills either. They also got that platinum level certification from the Rogia World Healthy Workplace Conference and Awards.
Yeah, that's important too. If they want to keep their good people and attract new talent, they need to create a good place to work. And they're doing a good job with diversity and inclusion too.
Yeah, they're not just talking about it, they're actually doing it.
Which is great because you need different perspectives in AI, especially with all the bias problems we've seen with algorithms. So building a diverse team is not just the right thing to do, it makes good business sense.
So their Q3 was amazing, but do you see any risks down the road? Anything that could hurt their growth?
Well, the IT services industry can be up and down sometimes. It's affected by the economy, so if there's a recession, that could hurt everyone, even Persistent.
And they make most of their money in North America, right? Like over 80%.
Right, so if things slow down there, it could really hurt their bottom line. That's the risk of focusing on one area. They're trying to grow in Europe and India, but North America is still where they make most of their money.
And you can't forget about competition. There are some big players in the IT services industry like Infosys and TCS. How can Persistent compete with them?
Well, they need to offer something different. And I think their focus on AI and their SaaS ADM platform does that. They're not just doing the same old IT stuff. They're using AI to get real results for companies.
Like that $150 million deal with the financial company. They're not just updating old systems, they're helping them completely change how they do business.
Exactly. But they can't just stop there. They need to keep coming up with new things and stay ahead of the game.
And to do that, they need talented people.
Yeah.
Which is hard to find these days.
Absolutely. It's not just about money. It's about creating a culture where people want to work and feel like they can make a difference. It seems like they're doing that, but it's definitely something they need to keep working on.
So focusing on AI is good, but it could also be a risk, right? What if their AI strategy doesn't work? Or what if the market changes?
Yeah, it's a possibility. AI is still new and we don't know what's going to happen.
So it's like they're walking a tightrope. They need to be innovative, but also be ready to change course if they need to. So let's talk about their global expansion. They're doing well in North America, but they're trying to grow in Europe and India. What kind of opportunities and challenges do you see there?
Well, expanding to new areas is smart, but it's also tricky. Every place has different rules, different cultures, and different competition.
So they can't just do the same thing they did in North America. They need to learn about each market and find the right partners.
And while Europe and India could be huge for them, there's also a lot of competition there.
So they need to show what makes them special. Not just their prices, but their expertise in AI and their ability to build trust with new clients.
And their global capability centers are going to be really important for that. They'll help them find good people and offer specific expertise in things like AI and digital engineering. But setting up those centers takes a lot of planning and effort.
Yeah, they need to find the right locations, attract top talent, create a good culture, even though everyone's spread out, and make sure everyone's working together well.
And they also need to think about things like language barriers, time zones, and cultural differences. It's a lot to juggle, but it's important if they want to grow in the long run.
So Persistent is shooting for the stars, but it's not going to be easy.
Definitely not. There are going to be a lot of twists and turns along the way, but they have a good foundation, they're ambitious, and they're really pushing AI forward. So I think they have a good chance of making a big impact on the industry.
And as they go on this journey, their people are going to be the most important thing. They need to find and keep the best people in the business and create a culture that's all about diversity, innovation, and a passion for technology.
Yeah, it's all about the people in the end.
Yeah, for sure. So we've covered a lot about their vision and their goals and everything, but let's get back to those deals. That $150 million one with the American financial company was huge.
Yeah, well, it's a perfect example of how they're using AI and their platform and all their experience to really make a difference for these companies. It's not just about modernizing anymore. It's about helping them change how they work in this new digital world.
It's a pretty good example of what they can do.
Mm.
But they can't just depend on a few big deals like that, right?
Yeah.
How do they make sure they keep getting those kinds of projects?
Well, they need to keep those projects coming in. And they're doing that in a few ways. Like they're focusing on their top 100 clients, which makes sense. They already have those relationships and they know those clients well.
Right? It's about being more than just a vendor. You got to be like a trusted advisor. And they're also looking beyond those traditional client relationships, like we talked about with private equity and sourcing advisors. Why are they doing that?
Well, you got to keep up with the competition. It's getting tougher in the IP services world. There are the big companies and all these new startups trying to get a piece of the pie. So by trying new things, they can reach more clients, find different types of clients, maybe even find those hidden gems that nobody else has noticed.
So they're casting a wider net, basically, trying to catch more fish.
Yeah, exactly.
And they've done well with private equity firms in the past.
Right, which is smart because a lot of those firms need help with digital transformation. So Persistent is in a good spot to be that partner for them.
So they're doing a lot of things right, building relationships, trying new things, and using their expertise to stand out.
Huh.
But let's not forget about the people behind it all.
Yeah, you're right. It's the people who make all this happen, and Persistent gets that. They're investing in their employees, making sure it's a good place to work, and promoting diversity and inclusion.
And remember, they got that gold award for Best Corporate University. They're serious about training their people, making sure they have the skills they need.
Yeah, it's not just about technical skills anymore. It's about being creative, solving problems, being good with people. Those things are going to be even more important with AI taking over those more basic jobs.
So it's about finding that balance between humans and technology. So as we wrap things up here, what are your big takeaways about Persistent Systems? What makes them a company to watch?
Well, their financials are great, they're growing, and they're profitable, but I think what makes them really special is their vision for AI. They're not just using it, they're shaping how it's used in the IT world.
And they're not just doing it for the sake of technology. They're doing it to solve real problems for their clients.
Right, and their partnerships with companies like Microsoft and Google give them even more tools to work with.
And they're taking good care of their people, which is so important for any company.
Absolutely. So for you, our listener, Persistent Systems is a company that's using AI to change the game in IT services. They're not afraid to try new things and push the limits of what's possible. They're definitely a company to keep an eye on.
They have a great track record, a strong vision, and they're all about delivering results for their clients. There will be challenges along the way, but I think they're ready for them. It's going to be exciting to see if they can hit that $5 billion target by FY31.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's all for this deep dive. Until next time, keep learning and exploring the amazing world of technology.